The golden hues of the sunset streamed through the windows of your shared home, casting a warm glow over the elegant dinner table. You watched Jungkook with soft eyes as he poured wine into your glass. His fingers brushed against yours for a fleeting second. Arranged marriage. That was how it all started, an obligation, a necessity for both families. But neither of you expected to find this the peace, the understanding, and eventually the love that bloomed effortlessly between you both. From the very beginning, Jungkook was different from what you had expected. While he had a reserved nature, he had always made sure to respect your boundaries, listening to you attentively, making you feel seen, and before either of you realized, you weren't just coexisting, you were living for each other. Jungkook placed down his wine glass and leaned back, studying you as you sipped your wine. You are quiet today. You blinked, startled. Am I? He smirked, resting his chin on his hand. Yes. Usually you have something to say about how I overseason the steak or how I don't let you do the dishes. A soft laugh escaped your lips and Jungkook fell in love with you even more. That's because you are a control freak in the kitchen, and yet you still let me cook for you. He mused, taking a sip of his wine. Because I like it, you admitted, playing with the rim of your glass. Jungkook's eyes flickered with something unreadable. That's good to know. Silence settled between you, but it was the comfortable kind, the type that spoke of understanding without the need for words. You tilted your head watching him. Jungkook? When did you realize you were happy in this marriage? He raised a brow. Is this an interview? Maybe. You smiled, swirling your wine. Humor me. He leaned back, pretending to think. I think it was the day I found you asleep on the couch, hugging my hoodie like it was some kind of rare treasure. Your face heated. That was one time. Once was enough, he teased. I remember just standing there, looking at you and thinking, I want to protect this moment forever. You swallowed as your heart skipped a beat. You never told me that before. I'm telling you now, he murmured, keeping his gaze steady on you. Your fingers tapped against the table. Then tell me more. A smirk appeared on his face. More? Yes, more moments, more thoughts, everything. Jungkook chuckled, setting down his fork. Alright, let's see. I knew I was happy when you started leaving little notes in my suit pocket before work. At first, they were reminders don't forget your lunch or your tie is in the second drawer. Then they became, his voice softened, sweet. You bit your lip, recalling the countless sticky notes you had written. You kept them? Every single one. Your heart squeezed. I didn't know that. He shrugged. You never asked. That made you chuckle. Alright then, let's go deeper. When did you realize you loved me? Jungkook's smirk faded and his expression turned serious. The night you got sick. You frowned. Which one? The bad one. The one where you were burning up and I was scared to leave your side. You kept mumbling in your sleep, reaching out for me, and when I held your hand, you calmed down instantly. That was the moment I knew I never wanted to be anywhere but by your side. A lump formed in your throat. Jungkook. He reached over, brushing his fingers against yours, a gesture that never fails to make your heart flutter. Your turn. You blinked. My turn for what? When did you realize you loved me? You hesitated, then smiled softly. The night you stayed up late, practicing your speech for my parents' anniversary dinner. You were so nervous about impressing them, but all I could think about was how much effort you were putting on for me. Jungkook raised a brow. You fell in love with me because of a speech? No, you said, shaking your head. I fell in love with you because you cared. He stared at you for a long moment before exhaling deeply. You have a way of making a man feel completely undone. You know that? You grinned. Good. Jungkook chuckled, lifting the glass to an unexpected love. You clinked your glass against his to an unexpected love. The moment was perfect until he set his glass down with a small smirk. By the way, there's something I wanted to tell you. You arched a brow. What is it? An old friend is visiting tomorrow. She couldn't make it to our wedding, but we have known each other for years. I think you'll like her. You tilted your head. A friend? He nodded. Yeah, Yuri. Your smile faltered slightly. You never mentioned a girl best friend before. Jungkook smirked, shaking his head. I guess I didn't think it was important. That was surprising. You had shared almost everything about your pasts, your childhoods, your fears, your previous relationships, and yet he had never mentioned her. Still, you didn't let it bother you. Instead, you smiled. I'm looking forward to meeting her, you said, taking a sip of your wine. The morning sun filtered through the grand windows of the mansion, casting a warm glow on the polished marble floors. You stood in front of your vanity, adjusting the delicate chain of your necklace, your mind preoccupied with Jungkook's words from last night. A childhood friend, he had said, someone from his past. It shouldn't bother you, yet something about the casual way he had mentioned her unsettled you. You're up early. Jungkook's deep voice cut through your thoughts. You turned to find him leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed, still dressed in his sleepwear, black sweatpants, and a loose t-shirt that hinted at the defined muscle beneath. I couldn't sleep much, you admitted, turning back to the mirror. Jungkook strode forward, placing his hands on your shoulders. His gaze met yours through the reflection. Something on your mind? You hesitated before saying, Tell me about Yuri. His brows lifted slightly as if amused by your sudden curiosity. What do you want to know? You turned to face him fully. Everything. Jungkook chuckled, shaking his head. Everything is a bit much, don't you think? Then start with how you met her. He exhaled, leaning against the edge of the vanity. We met in high school. She was the daughter of my father's business partner. We weren't exactly close at first, but our families often pushed us together. Pushed you together? You repeated, narrowing your eyes. He smirked. Relax. It wasn't like that. We were just expected to get along because of our families. You studied his expression carefully. Were you ever together? Jungkook's gaze darkened slightly as if weighing his words. No, but there was a time when everyone thought we would be. He shrugged his shoulders. Don't know, maybe we look good together? He said this to tease you a little. You smiled, but it wasn't soft. Rather, it was dangerous. Oh, and now? Do you still think you look good together? Jungkook tilted his head, a teasing glint in his eyes. Are you jealous, sweetheart? You rolled your eyes, crossing your arms. As long as you don't have any romantic feelings for her, I don't care. He laughed, stepping closer, his fingers brushing a stray strand of hair behind your ear. I can't even think about anyone else now. Yuri is my past. You are my present, my future. His voice dropped to a low murmur. Should I remind you that? Your breath hissed as his lips hovered just above yours, his warmth consuming, but before you could respond, a knock on the door interrupted the moment. Sir, Miss Yuri has arrived, the maid announced from outside. You tensed, stepping back as Jungkook said, right on time. He muttered, You should go. You said, ignoring the strange feeling in your chest. Jungkook studied your face for a moment before pressing a soft kiss to your forehead. I'll introduce you to her properly. Come downstairs. With that, he left, leaving you alone with your thoughts. You weren't expecting to see her so soon. As you walked into the garden, the sound of soft laughter reached your ears. Your steps slowed as you spotted them near the fountain. Jungkook standing relaxed with his arms in his pockets, while Yuri's delicate fingers brushed his arm. Your stomach twisted. She was beautiful, the kind of beauty that felt effortless. Long dark waves cascaded down her back, and her fitted dress accentuated her slender figure, but it wasn't her appearance that unsettled you. It was the way she stood beside Jungkook. So at ease, as if she belonged there. It was normal, but to you it felt different. Maybe because now you are his wife, he is yours. Jungkook must have sensed your presence because his eyes immediately found yours, a small smirk tugged at his lips. Sweetheart, come here. Yuri got surprised when she heard him calling you sweetheart. She thought Jungkook didn't want this marriage, that he wouldn't fall for you because it was an arranged marriage. You came near and stood beside Jungkook, who smiled at you. You must be Ryan, she said, stepping forward gracefully. Jungkook has told me so much about you. You returned her smile, though it was more calculated than mom. And you must be Yuri. Jungkook's hand found its way to your waist, pulling you a fraction closer. Yuri and I used to cause trouble together when we were younger. Yuri laughed, tilting her hand. Oh, don't let him fool you. He was the troublemaker. I was just the innocent bystander. Jungkook chuckled. I remember it differently. You watched their exchange, forcing yourself to keep your expression neutral. It sounds like you two share a lot of memories. Yuri's eyes flickered with amusement. We do, but I have to admit, I was surprised when I heard Jungkook got married. She glanced at him with something unreadable in her gaze. He was never the type to settle down. Jungkook's grip on your waist tightened slightly. People change. Yuri arched a perfectly shaped brow. Do they? A brief silence hung in the air, charged with an undertone of challenge. You must tell me, Ryan. Yuri said suddenly, turning her full attention to you. How did Jungkook win you over? He was never interested in relationships. You felt Jungkook's eyes on you, watching your response. Instead of letting the question shake you, you held Yuri's gaze and smiled. He didn't have to. You answered smoothly. He was always meant to be mine. Yuri's expression flickered just for a second before she let out a soft chuckle. I see, confident, I like that. Jungkook smirked, tilting his head down slightly. That's my wife, he murmured, pressing a kiss to your temple, his lips lingering just a second longer than necessary. Yuri's gaze shifted between you two, and though she was smiling, there was something else beneath it, something you couldn't quite place. Well, I would love to get to know you better, Ryan. Maybe we can have tea sometime. You didn't hesitate. That depends, you said, tilting your head slightly. Do you plan on using that time to reminisce about old times with Jungkook or to actually get to know me? Jungkook let out a low chuckle, clearly entertained. Yuri's eyes twinkled with amusement. A little bit of both, maybe. Then I'll think about it. You replied smoothly, matching her energy. Jungkook glanced between the two of you. Didn't I tell you? She's bold. You shot him a warning look before turning back to Yuri. Welcome back. I hope your visit is memorable. Yuri's smile never wavered, but you could sense the subtle shift in her look. She wasn't liking the closeness between you and Jungkook. The day went well. Jungkook had to leave for work and Yuri too went to visit his other friends. But later at night you invited her for dinner. Jungkook also came early to help you. Dinner was cordial at first. Yuri asked Jungkook about his work, his routines, and old memories between them. However, she barely acknowledged your presence. As the night progressed, you noticed how she had placed a hand on Jungkook's arm while laughing or bring up moments you weren't a part of. Oh yeah, that was really the best time. We have a lot to catch up. I missed so many years and I have to tell you a lot. Wine, would you mind giving us a moment? Yuri suddenly asked, her voice light but firm. I would like to talk to Jungkook privately. For a second, silence filled the air. Your heart clenched, but before you could respond, Jungkook leaned forward, his expression unreadable. Why? Yuri blinked. What do you mean? I mean, why would my wife need to leave? This is our home. If you have something to say, you can say it in front of her. She let out a small laugh as if trying to dismiss the tension. Jungkook, come on. You know it's different. I haven't seen you in years. And we need to catch up alone. She will get bored anyway. She's not a part of it. Jungkook's jaw clenched. And what makes you think she's not a part of me? His voice turned colder. Yuri sighed, tilting her head as if she were dealing with a stubborn child. Come on, Jungkook. I know you're just trying to make her feel better. You're putting on a show acting like everything is perfect, but let's face it. She turned slightly towards you, her expression unreadable. This is an arranged marriage. It's not like you knew her before or love her. Her words sliced through the air, sharp and deliberate. You already knew her mask would slip any time soon, and that's why you weren't surprised. But Jungkook's fingers flexed at his sides. His expression remained composed, but you could see the flicker of something darker in his gaze. He let out a slow breath before speaking. Yuri, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Be careful about assuming things you don't understand. Yuri blinked, clearly not expecting that response. Jungkook. No, you listen. You say I'm putting on a show, but you have no idea what's between us. You think this is just an arrangement? Then you don't know me at all. Yuri's lips parted slightly, but he wasn't done. You don't get to decide what my marriage is or isn't, and you sure as hell don't get to talk about my wife like she's an outsider in my own home. His hand slid around her waist, the warmth of his touch grounding you. If you really came back just to catch up, then act like it. But if you're here to question my life, my choices, then you are wasting your time. A tense silence filled the space. Yuri's expression faltered for the briefest moment before she forced a smile, though it didn't quite reach her eyes. I didn't mean anything by it. I was just surprised, that's all. Then let's keep it that way. His voice softened slightly, but his stance remained firm. She glanced at you once more, something unreadable flickering in her gaze before she finally exhaled. All right, I get it. She raised her hands in surrender. I'll respect it. I hope you do, Yuri, because I may not have known Jungkook before, but that doesn't make our relationship any less real, and I don't need you or anyone else to validate what we have. Yuri's smile wavered just slightly before she forced a light laugh. Of course, I was just surprised, that's all. You tilted your head, offering her the same polite smile she had given you. Then let's leave it at that. Jungkook's grip on your waist tightened slightly, a silent approval. He glanced at Yuri one last time before guiding you closer. I think that's enough for today. We'll catch up another time. Yuri hesitated, clearly not used to being dismissed so easily, but eventually she nodded. Sure, we'll talk later, Jungkook. She cast you one final look before turning on her heel and walking away. As soon as she was gone, you let out a slow breath. She doesn't like me, you muttered, half joking. Jungkook chuckled softly, turning to face you fully. She doesn't matter. His voice was firm, but his eyes softened as they met yours. Only you do. You raised a brow, arms still crossed as you looked at him. Oh, so, what about your friendship with her? Your tone was laced with sarcasm. Friendships don't just disappear, do they? Jungkook didn't hesitate, his eyes locked onto yours. There's no friendship bigger than my love for you. His voice was calm, but there was a quiet intensity behind it. If someone can't see you as a part of me, then they have no place in my life. Your breath hissed slightly at his voice, but you masked it with a smirk. Oh, how poetic. You teased, tilting your head. Did you practice that line or is this just natural talent? Jungkook chuckled, shaking his head as he stepped even closer. You are the only one I need to prove anything to. His fingers brushed against your hand, and I'll keep proving it until you believe me. You held his gaze for a moment longer before rolling your eyes with a small huff, trying to ignore the way your heart pounded. Fine, I'll allow it, but don't think this conversation is over. Jungkook smirked, leaning down slightly. Oh, I'm counting on it.